Brilliant. That's really good. Oh, scare me.
Let's get ready to scare, mate.
Oh,
Welcome back, everyone.
someone turned the heat up in the forest today, didn't they?
Yeah, it's a bit hot,
It's very hot.
a bit warm. But, you know, you can still scare people even when it's warm.
Perhaps even more.
Some people say that being scared it only belongs when you're, sort of cold in a cold, dark wood. But I think you can be scared when you're sweltering. Why is it every horror movie? There's never a horror movie
That's
set
true.
in like
Ibiza
Ibiza or something. Yeah, it's always got to be cold.
Wow, there we go.
Anyway, it's hot.
We're in Ibiza.
We've got more scary stories this week. It's me.
It's Danny, and I'm so excited. I'm so excited to see what comes.
Yeah.
So let's just jump into it, really.
Let's just jump into it. So the title for my story this week is called Sing to the Moon. Here we go.
We need to change the set list. Alex shook his head as he tapped the torn-out notebook paper. He scrawled some final notes, arrows and strike-throughs before passing it to Jani, who laughed immediately. Bro, are you serious? We're not going to have a show if we do this. Or we're just going to tap dance for the last half an hour then, or what? Alex scowled and turned to the taxi window. The morning rain lashed against it, obscuring the streets of Portsmouth as they darted down the streets, each one smaller than the next. Objected Alex, without turning his head. I don't want a repeat of Waltham. What, do you really think there's going to be alcoholic clowns here too? You need to relax, right? It's going to be fine. With that, Jani considered the discussion over, closing his eyes, folding his arms, leaving a silence in his wake. Alex continued to scan outside. Compared to his brother, he knew he was a worrier. He worried about their lyrics, about the equipment, about the crowd, about their dodgy manager Marcus. To be fair, he was right about that one. But for the most part, the record was in Jani's favour. He had a confidence in him that soothed and inspired Alex in equal measure. As teens, Jani would cut their practices for local gigs short to work on their future platinum album cover. Alex smiled at the memory, though he never let Jani know he was right. On this occasion, he was worrying about their hotel. The Grand Swan had come up on Alex's first search. The location was great, the price was generous, there was free breakfast, and the reviews were perfect. That was what concerned him. No hotel should have perfect reviews. All of them were one paragraph, each one written in the same pale tone, brief and bland in equal measure. The week before, Jani almost spat out his beer laughing when Alex shared his concern. They tipped the driver and unloaded the gear. Jani picked up his guitar and strode inside, leaving Alex to haul the rest. He surveyed the facade for a moment. The place looked fine. Nestled between a Bookies and a pharmacy, its shale exterior was typical of the area. They could have easily missed it. Alex only knew it was the right place because of the slate sign propped against the door. The Grand Swan, a song for the ages. Inside, Jani was already hammering the reception bell, leering round the corner to the office behind. Hello? Hello? Alex smelt the lobby before he even saw it, a mixture of beer mats and wet wax jackets, like an old farmer's convention. It seemed to pour out of every surface. An old man popped his head around the corner. Ah, hello. You the boys for the weekend then? Ah, our reputation precedes us, quipped Jani. I'm Jani, and this is my brother Alex. He extended his hand. The old man paused and smiled at them both before reaching slowly to shake it. Andy, I'm afraid we can't really roll out the red carpet for you. It's only me here this weekend, off-season and all that. Are you playing a show then? Yeah, said Alex. How did you know? Even Jani was frowning. Well, unless you're travelling guitar salesman, I expect you're planning on using them at some point. He gestured towards the gear behind them. Jani laughed. Alex joined in. We get a lot of singers coming through, actually. They always seem to find their way here. Now, rooms. They are actually all free. You can have 1, 2, 3, or 4. Jani chose 4, his favourite number. Andy put their things in storage as they headed upstairs, past room 1, then 2, then 3, before finally reaching 4 on the top floor. Jani burst into the room and collapsed to the bed. Alex stared across the hallway at another room. This one had no number on the front, only a circle etched into the wood itself. It looked different too, more solid, and far older than anything he'd seen in the house thus far. As Alex stared, his body knew what was about to happen, somehow, before it even did. The slab of wood that looked too heavy to move suddenly began to creak open, sending dust flying across the hallway towards him. Alex froze, and then Jani held the set list up and scanned it. Okay, sing to the moon, sing to the sun, lift up your hearts, there can be only one. What was that? Asked Alex, unpacking his clothes into the drawers. What was what? That song, he pressed. Is that one of ours? I don't know. I think it was on the radio in the taxi. The radio wasn't on. Well, I don't know. Maybe it's one of your songs. Alex frowned. Maybe. His songs were like his children. He knew every one, and that wasn't one of them. But somehow, he still knew it. Just those few licks stirred a familiar feeling inside of him. He found himself singing as he brushed his teeth in front of the mirror. Sing to the moon, sing to the sun, lift up your hearts, there can be only one. It was then that he noticed how dusty his hands were, covered in a thick grime that he didn't even remember seeing anywhere except for that door. Jani was asleep, passed out with a beer in one hand and a copy of NME in the other. Alex slowly opened their door and peered across the darkness of the hallway. As his eyes adjusted, he saw the old door, now firmly in its frame, as it was before in his recovered memory. How could he forget? Then he saw a mark on the frame. 5, actually, evenly spaced gaps in the dust. Alex stared at his hand. He went straight to Jani. Hey, wake up. What? Something weird's going on. I think I sleptwalked. Alex had never sleptwalked in his life, especially not that night, because he hadn't even gone to sleep yet. Jani rubbed his face. What? Go back to bed, Matt, God. He removed his hands and Alex's eyes widened. Jani's face was now covered in the exact same grime, transferred from his own hands. The silence was thick. Alex's mind raced, and then he heard it. The same creak as before, muffled, but clearly coming from the hallway. His voice cracked. Jani, wake up. I think there's... Alex mopped up the last of his breakfast and slumped back into his chair. He patted his belly. That was good. Sing to the moon, sing to the sun, lift up your hearts, there can only be one. Jani peered over his magazine. What's that song? I know that song. One of yours, I think. No, mate, Jani chuckled. No way I'd write some pansy crap like that. It's definitely one of yours. Alex didn't contest. He'd take credit even where it wasn't due. Everything to your satisfaction, gents. Andy had appeared out of nowhere, beaming at their empty plates. Yeah, great. Thanks a lot, replied Jani. I like that song you were singing, Alex. Oh, thanks. We're not sure which one of us wrote it, actually. Andy carefully picked up their plates. Well, he interjected, I've heard that song for years, actually. I always find myself singing it. It's like my daydream song. I'd love to know where it's from, or how it ends. Do you know the rest of it, perchance? Alex opened his mouth to reply, but Andy was already walking away. His voice echoed down the hallway. Sing to the moon, sing to the sun, lift up your hearts, there can only be one. Jani leant over. Weird bloke, isn't he? Nice voice, though. Might use him for the show tonight instead of you. Alex wasn't listening. His mind reached back to the night before, to the forgotten memories that bubbled up in time with that song. They opened room 1. Andy had left them the key to use it as a practice room. It took them the better part of an hour to find and plug everything in. Jesus Christ, Jani mopped his brow. They don't make it easy, do they? At long last, they were ready to practice. Their road amp buzzed into life. Jani struck a chord while Alex reached for the set list. What did you think of the changes I made then? I think it could work. Oh yeah, whatever you want. I made a few notes myself, actually. Alex unfolded the paper and squinted. It seemed like their notes had obscured the original set list. Their scrawls overlapped and intertwined. Alex couldn't make out what they'd even written. He held the paper at arm's length and squinted until the scribbles formed into words. The first track was called Sing to the Moon. The second one was too. So was the third and the fourth, and all the rest, even their encore track. The titles were written in both of their handwriting with different pens, some different sizes and others at an angle, but they all said the same thing. What the? Alex stood up. What's this? Jani looked up from tuning his guitar. That's the set list. I just made a few changes. Is that alright? I mean, I see you did a bunch too. No, bro, no, this isn't our set list. I mean, it is, but what the fuck is this? He shoved the paper in Jani's face, who did the same squint for a moment before the realization hit him too. Jani, it's that song. It's the one we keep singing. Why can't we remember it? Andy was singing it too. What song? I don't know what you're on about. For the first time in years, Alex heard panic in his brother's voice. The song, Jani. We've been singing it, and then we're here, or there. It's our entire fucking set list, and we don't even know what it is. Jani opened his mouth to speak, but as he did, a creak rumbled through the house. He closed his mouth. The pair stared up at the ceiling. The thudding grew louder. And closer. Alex pressed himself against the door. The final thud came right outside. Alex held his breath, straining for any sound outside the room, but it came from within. The doorknob turned. Jani stared wide-eyed, tilting his head in unison with it. It clicked. The air was thick and dusty and silent. The door inched open. Alex felt the fog descend. Behind him, Jani dropped his guitar to his bed. He stood up, his hands dropped to his side, eyes glazed over, 1,000-yard stare, and he sang. Sing to the moon, sing to the sun, lift up your hearts, there can only be one. Alex felt his will slipping away, as it had done before. He wanted to let go, to sing with his brother, let the music take him away as it had done before, but something stirred within this time. He kicked the door shut and locked it. The muffled thuds were the only sound now. He spun around to Jani and shook him. Jani, look at me. Jani was unresponsive. He shook him again, but Jani pushed him aside and shuffled to the door. Sing to the moon, sing to the sun, lift up your hearts, there can only be one. Alex pinned him against the wall, slapping his face with one hand. Hey, fucking hell, Jani, hey! It was futile. The two were locked in a silent embrace, which was broken by a woman's voice outside. Come, my songbirds. It's time for our choir to begin. The show's about to start. Her voice pierced through Jani's singing. Alex felt her words cut into his very mind, weakening his will to fight, to stop. The song. The thuds made their way back up the stairs. Alex released Jani and clutched his head. He groaned. Jani opened the door and began ascending. Alex heard his own voice begin to change. Sing to the moon, sing to the sun, lift up your hearts, there can only be one. He closed his eyes a final time. They opened again, covered in a deep haze. He strode to the staircase. Downstairs, Andy had heard the banging, and it all came back to him. The song, the thudding, the guess, his wife, that woman. In room 5, he knew he only had seconds. He bounded up the stairs, past room 1, the door wide open, past room 2, 3, and 4. He arrived in the hallway just in time to see Alex disappear behind the old dusty door. Its etched circle shone black against the daylight. Stop! No! You've had enough! The door became one with its frame once again, a solid mass that defied entry and understanding. Andy finished his crossword. 7 across, Eastern Peninsula. He smiled and placed a paper down on his office desk. Sing to the moon, sing to the sun, lift up your hearts, there can only be one. The bell at reception dinged. He leapt up to greet the new guests. Ah, hello. You must be the new girls who booked this week, right? I like your guitar case. Let me take that for you.
By Jove, he's only gone and done it. Terrifyingly original.
Yeah, you think?
Terrifyingly original. And also, you know that there were many elements to that story that really resonated with me.
Perhaps I was aware.
You kind of, yeah, you connected a few dots, didn't you?
Well, there was an idea already there for a while, and I saw as it panned out, I started like.
It was fantastic. It was fantastic. You know it was good. Before we go into the praise, I just want to clear up a little bit at the end. You know when the person was racing through the hallway and they looked at Alex going through the door?
Yeah.
Whose perspective was that from?
That was from Andy.
That's from Andy's. Okay. Yeah, I thought it was. I just wanted to clear up just in case it was a.
Yeah, no, because I was trying to make it clear that like
because it did shift perspective.
It did.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did. It was sort of like that's their story over. You know, or is it? But
yeah, and he said to her, "No, you've had enough."
Well, this is. I mean, when you want to get into the deeper themes, we can't. You want to jump straight in there?
No. Okay. So, I will preface this point and say that was fantastic, Danny. That was actually one of my favourites that you've done.
Yeah.
That was again terrifyingly original. What a fantastic concept for horror. But maybe this is something that Cassie will take a little bit of inspiration from as well.
Yeah.
That was set in the 70s, wasn't it? Or
it was meant to be set sometime in the past. Yeah.
Or maybe not the 70s quite, maybe like the early 80s.
Yeah, I pictured it. I wanted it to be sort of ambiguous.
And I think it was because of the characterization of Jani specifically.
Yeah.
That voice that you did on, for those of you that don't know, the voice that Danny was doing, which was fantastic, is also like the stereotypical stupid English rocker from like the late 70s.
Yeah. I was also thinking Only Fools and Horse a bit when I was doing it.
Yes, and that's very much of that time.
Yeah.
You know, kind of like the hair bear, like shut up, man, let's just play some music. You know,
yeah.
And it was perfect. Like the vocals for that were absolutely perfect. It kind of put me into that mindset, and I did see like, you know, two English rockers on a dusty old tour bus pulling up to a dusty old hotel. And that, which leads me to our next point, is so good for a horror concept. Like that was, again, I always say this to you, your scope is cinematic, and as a concept that is brilliant. That's really, really good. And the concept of a song being the villain, well, not necessarily the villain, but the device of fear and evil is a song.
Well, I mean, you had that. I mean, you did that with Mr. Benjamin's Bunker. Like, that was
true, but mine was a little bit more staccato, shall we say? FIFA,
yeah. Hey, it works. The concept. I think
it was brilliant.
It's also concept. Like, you know, I'm sort of like going through things that bring people joy and hope in life, like comedy and music and stuff, and sort of making them scary.
Genius, and that's genius, because you know we always say. We kind of want to create stories that perhaps subvert the more kind of overlooked or underlooked aspects of life, which you did to a fantastic degree, Mr. Burke. That was brilliant. That was one of my favourite stories of yours.
Wow, thank you.
That was fantastic. And it was just terrifyingly original. You painted a beautifully vivid picture. I think that may have been the best landscape that you were.
I was really trying. I was really
did
trying
a very good
to
job.
Describe everything. But also just, you know, leave enough so that the rest can be filled in with imagination.
Exactly.
I don't want to like. That's my problem sometimes. Is I think I need to describe everything.
Exactly.
But you just give them a few things and let them fill the rest.
And you let me fill the rest. And I'm not sure whether for our English viewers as well, you know those kind of dusty old hotels that are in like seaside towns and stuff like that.
You know that smell when like...
Yeah, I know exactly.
When
That chair smells like.
Maybe, yeah. But when you walk into like a British pub and it's like autumn, it's been raining, and people are inside are wearing like Berber jackets or whatever.
Yes, barber jackets.
Barber jackets.
Yeah.
When they're wearing those kind of jackets, whatever that sort of material is, that
like wax jackets.
Yeah, that's like, and then like beer, like old beer.
Perfect.
Yeah,
it was perfect. Characterization was fantastic. Both Alex and Jani, I think you did yourself a credit to have two well-rounded characters that complemented each other.
It's also I put two in this time because I realised it's sometimes difficult when you got one character.
Yes, it is,
because you have to do so much exposition. You know,
exactly.
Whereas if someone says it to another person, then that's fine.
I felt like that with the gloaming because it was first person as well. I mean, first person kind of lends itself to being able to fill in a few of those gaps.
Yeah.
But especially when you're expanding it third person, you can have these conversations between the characters, and you did that fantastically. You know, you painted a very vivid relationship between the two, and that gave such a strong kind of consequence to what was happening, which they didn't know at all. And then obviously ending it on two female musicians doing the exact same walk that Alex and Jani had just done. Brilliant, fantastic story, mate. Andy.
Yeah.
Is there a reason that his name is Andy?
Yes. But there's a twist to it, which is that you know how he responded at the end.
Yes.
I wanted to like paint a picture of it's not all as it seems with these you know, these familiars.
Yes.
Maybe there's not always, you know.
Yes. That's a very interesting outlook as well. I love that. Yeah, because it was almost my wife, right? You said.
Yes. So it all came back. No. Well, that was just meant to be like I mean, it's open to interpretation, but I was intending that to be like the things that he lost, like the reason the hotel was so empty and all that kind of stuff. And it all came back to him, and he was like, and he suddenly remembered. And he was like, "Oh my god, it's happening again!" And he's just stuck in this loop.
Was this an 80 origin story?
I could be, yeah. But like, he's not. He wakes up every now and again,
and it jolts him out.
And it's that and the song puts you back under again. So when they sing that song, they get put
brilliant. That's really good. I had a score and he just kind of gone off.
Yeah, there's more. Yeah, there's more to discuss there. Like
you just got off.
Yeah, he said it's the idea that familiars that they might be trapped by the same things that the master's using. Like, why would what's their real motive? Why wouldn't they do it? But yeah, it all came back to him that second. It's happened every time to him. Every time he has his horrible moments. And that's why I thought that's why I want to shift perspective, because the real it wouldn't make sense to shift perspective to someone else who was just sort of watching and observing it. But the horror was with him too. Like
he's as much as a prisoner as they are.
Yeah, if anything, like he's just and he's been told to do these perfect reviews and stuff like that. He's the one writing all this and like. And he never remembers.
Oh, that's what. Okay, so that's one thing that perhaps doesn't. I forgot about the reviews.
Yeah.
Okay. But still, it kind of has.
You could have you didn't. I didn't say online, so they read the reviews.
That's true.
Could be anywhere. Could be in like a hotel magazine or something.
That's also true.
Yeah.
Wow, Cassie, there you go.
But
I thoroughly enjoyed that, mate. I think I can.
One last thing as well, before we do the score.
I was going to say one more thing.
Okay, go on. No, go on. No, you go.
You do.
Well, mine's more like a final little thing.
Okay. And also for those of you... Also, we've got to say, after The Old Ones Part 2, so many of you have got such incredible insights into the wider universe.
It blew my mind actually.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't even have to explain what we're talking about right now because people out there would just know the clues by now. Yeah.
But one of the key central themes that I don't think anyone's picked up on so far is the idea of the sun and the moon, and I think you did a very, very good job in that respect. That's all I'll say on that point.
And also, the place was called the Royal Swan.
Yeah.
And it was sung for a swan song.
Swan song.
Is your final song as well.
Yes.
And there was meant to be the moon on the door that was glowing.
Yeah, I picked up on that.
Be one, yeah.
And then the lyrics of the song.
Yeah.
Sing for the moon, sing for the sun. Put out your...
So moon, sing to the sun. Lift up your hearts. That can only be
Lift
one.
up your hearts.
So,
That can
so,
only
it's,
be
so I
one.
was thinking that sort. I wanted to sound like an old sort of wartimey or 50s song, like lift up your heart.
I heard that.
But it's more like Aztec. Lift up your hearts, like sacrificial. Like.
Oh, I love you, dude. I love you, dude. I love you, dude.
That's what I was going for with that. Like it could be sort of disguised in that.
So exciting. I love it. Great job.
All right, and the final thing is, do you know what Eastern Peninsula 7 across would be?
Okay, I knew that was going to be a thing. An Eastern Peninsula 7 across. Go on.
See if anyone else gets it. Maybe we'll leave it.
You're going to have to tell me after the video.
Okay, all right. I'll tell you after the video. See if anyone else gets it.
Eastern
though.
Peninsula 7 across. Okay, go on.
Oh, you would say?
No, We'll leave it.
Yeah, we'll leave it.
See if anyone gets
that. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, on that note, let's do a score.
Yeah. Hopefully that won't affect my score if I told you that.
No.
Like it gets bumped up.
Okay. I was gonna give you an 8.2 anyway. I was going to give you an 8.2.
Oh, wow.
But then it's still hasn't peaked the Balkan because the Balkan still maintains itself as my favourite story of yours. But it was very, very, very close, and because of that, I'm going to give you our first ever 8.25.
Oh wow, we're doing decimals now. You've opened the floodgates now. 2.5 as well. Not even 8.
Oh no, because
yeah, no. So 8.2.
So between
8.25. Right, okay.
between 8.2 and 8.3.
Right.
That's where I want to score you. Between 8.2 and 8.3.
Okay, 8.25. Okay, yeah, I like that. Yeah. Okay, that's good.
It was really good, mate. You outdid
Thank
yourself
you.
there.
Thank you.
Great job, and characterization perfect.
Well,
There we go.
hopefully you guys enjoyed that. If you can figure out what the little crossword puzzle is, let me know. Maybe I'll go and do a part 2 to this. I know that Jack's had some fantastic stories the past week, which you should definitely go and check out, and that's a 2-parter as well. I'm going to try and finish this up before he gets it. But don't forget to keep sending your stories in to this email address right here. We're going to keep enjoying reading them, and we actually did a live stream a couple of days ago, which is happening in our future.
We have to go and do that right now.
We have to go and do a live stream right now. Hopefully
We
you guys
have
watch
to go
it.
and live stream right now.
But yeah, we look forward to seeing you next week.
Thank you so much. If you have any of your stories, well, actually, that won't be apparent, but we'll leave that thing.
It's there.
Because we got something to tell you in the live stream. So
Exactly.
But
Alright.
this one here, people.
Time to blow out the fire.
You've been watching How No. I've been Jack Finch. This
Danny
good man
Burke.
over here has been Daniel Burke. You Daniel? Yeah. Okay. Usually we blow out the fire and we do some kind of. Let's sing to it. Sing to the moon, sing to the sun. Lift up your hearts. There can only be one. That was creepy. That creeped me out. Goodbye, everyone.